Happy Thursday, everybody. So I am here today and I want to give you some tips and tricks and tools on what you can do to create new healthy habits. And the reason that I'm doing this is not because it's the new year, but rather it's something that I'm focusing on. And of course, when I'm learning something new or focusing on something new, I go do all the research and this, that, and the other. And I just want to share a few things with you on what you can do to make habits stick. So first off, this is just going to be kind of a random story, but one of the habits that I'm trying to get into is wearing jeans and real pants more and more, and not always be wearing like leggings and sweatpants, which have been my preference of pants for the last 2 years. And like so much so that I say that I have like fancy sweatpants, right? Like these aren't just like your old grade joggers. Like I have very nice sweatpants. But anyhow, it's time to move out of that. So today I'm wearing jeans, and I did that whole, like they feel so tight that I did that whole like, oh, I wonder if they're leaving like an indention. Because like, you know, when your pants are tight, they leave like indentions. That's how you need to get a bigger size. Well, the good news is my pants are not leaving the indention. But the bad news is I'm just learning like jeans don't feel the same as sweatpants. So that's my big lesson on the habit that I am trying to implement today of not wearing sweatpants. But let's get back to you and the seriousness of how do we create new habits? Because if new habits were easy to create, then we would all have very healthy habits. So 2 ground rules when you are looking at creating a habit. First off, the new habit that you are trying to create, hold on, I need to get y'all back up. The new habit that you all are trying to create should not take any more than 3 to 5 minutes. Usually this is where we totally go off the rails. So I'm just gonna say the one that everybody seems to make around the new year, and that is, I'm gonna get healthy. And so they go and they join a gym, and they decide to get up at like 4 a.m., they pack, they get to the gym, they finish their workout around 6, they come back, they take a shower, they get ready for work, and they go. And so all in all, this new habit takes like an hour and a half, and then it's January 3rd, and they are no longer going to the gym. Well, the reason for that is because when you're training yourself to do new things, it needs to take 3 to 5 minutes. So for example, let's say, this is one that I'm doing. So let's say that you want to get in more movement or you want to get in more steps. Well, instead of saying, I'm going to go from an average of 5,000 steps a day to 50,000, that's ridiculous, y'all. Instead, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to increase my steps by taking Alexander on a walk an extra block, right? So what you're doing is you are just simply adding something that will help you get those movements, and you're adding it in a 3 to 5 minute range. So first off, for those of you that have like never read a book in your life, and you're like, this year I'm gonna read 100. Let's start by reading for like 10 minutes before you go to bed, or maybe even 5 minutes before you go to bed. So keep that in mind. It needs to be no more than 3 to 5 minutes. The next thing that I want you to remember when it comes to habit creating is it should tie to something that you already do. So for example, let's go back to the movement one. I want to move more. Well, in the example that I gave, what I told you is that I'm just gonna add an extra block when I walk my dog. So one, it's taking 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 8, and then not only that, I'm already doing it. So this is just simply an add-on. Let's say that you decide that you want to eat more fruits and vegetables. Instead of throwing out all of your chips because you're just going to go to the vending machine and get more, what I want you to do instead is to be like, you know what? I drive to work, and on my way to work, I am going to eat a banana. Eating a banana takes less than 5 minutes, and you're driving to work, so you're already making that happen. So 2 things to keep in mind as you're looking at creating happy and healthy habits. Now, let me get you some specifics that I have found really help me when it comes to trying to implement new behavior. So let's say that you have habits like drinking more water, increasing steps, getting more sleep, whatever that is. I believe that instead of just starting off the week with all of these new habits, the first thing that you do is give yourself a practice week. So since this is a new behavior, what I want you to do is start to feel how that new behavior feels. And what this practice week is going to do is it's going to allow you to figure out when you're going to actually implement the habit. So for example, let's say that it's to drink a gallon of water a day. I'm just going to throw that out there. Well, if you're currently only drinking 2 glasses, you need to figure out, when am I going to drink the rest of that water? Am I going to have water after every cup of coffee? Is it afternoon? I'm going to only switch to water. Is it I'm only going to drink water and that's how I'm going to get it all in? What are you going to do when you travel? Like if you're going to Kansas City for a day, like how are you going to make sure that you get your water intake? And when you're doing like a practice round, you can figure that out. One of the things that I also think about is like if you're looking at increasing your steps, well, how many steps are you getting now? How many steps are you going to be getting when you start to implement this? How long is it going to take? When are you going to get them? If walking Alexander an extra block only gives me an extra 500 steps and my goal is to increase steps by 3,000, like somewhere I'm going to have to go and figure out where I'm going to get those extra steps. So that's what your practice week is. Your practice week is just, okay, how am I going to do this so that you're setting yourself up for success? And the last thing that I'm going to share is I very much believe in habit tracking. Now this just could be me, but like I love habit tracking, particularly when it comes on a really adorable Post-it note. Oh my gosh, by the way, Post-its have this new line called Noted. How cool is that? And one of the things that you can get are these little trackers that have like hydrate. So if you're looking at increasing your water, you could do this one. It has like a mood. If you're like trying to do a mood tracker, it has a movement and a habit. So like, I just think that these are really fun, and it goes that it helps me track to make sure I'm getting all the things done. And they're fun and they're pretty and they're sticky. So like for me, I like to track things that by using like lots and lots of tools that usually I have to purchase off of Amazon or at the store or something like that. So, but please do track it. Success creates success. So when you see like, oh my gosh, look, I have 7 days where I've done this, I don't want to lose that momentum. It can kind of be the motivation that you need. So anyhow, whatever your habit is that you're trying to implement, please keep these tips, tricks, and tools in mind. And just remember that baby steps really do help. So anyhow, I know that this was really like health focused, and this works for anything. This works for morning routine. This works for I want to cook at home more often. This works for I'm trying to read more. I had mentioned that it just happens to be that water intake and steps are mine. So and wearing jeans are mine. So that's what I'm sharing with. Okay, y'all, that is all I have. Happy Thursday. Right now it feels like spring here in the Omaha area, but tomorrow it starts, like tomorrow's our last day of spring, and then it starts to feel like winter again. So gross. All right, y'all. Go out there and make happy, healthy habits. See you.